News dump. Mac, I have news. I have terrible news.
Really?
Somehow, some way, a bee has gotten into my basement, and I think I've decided that I'm not going to move. That was my first thought. But maybe we just tape off the basement. We just say, this is yours now. Whatever clothes are already down here, that's fine. And we just start going to the laundromat.
You got a bee in your bonnet, really,
Yeah.
really causing issues. Now,
Yeah.
I usually forget this, but every once in a while, I'm reminded that you have a legit phobia for bees, whatever the hell that's called.
Apophobic.
Apophobic, that's the word. So you're like Nick Cage, you're like Macaulay Culkin.
Not the bees.
Yeah, yeah.
Beads?
Uh, my advice here, Goo,
Mm-hmm.
just leave it be. It's just a bee. Who cares?
Let it be, like the Beatles?
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Yeah, let it
I
be.
think what I'm gonna do is I saw it hovering around a window down there close to a
Mhm.
spider web. I'm
Sure.
thinking nature.
You have to figure out who the asshole was that let the bee in the first place.
Well, I did check the exterior of the house
Mhm.
in fear of it being a carpenter bee because
Right.
those some bitches make beautiful little holes in your wood.
Perfect little circles, yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't see any, so maybe it just kinda got in through the window. Then I need to make sure that more don't get in, because if I see multiple bees, there could be a nest down there or something inside of the wall of the house.
Correct. It's good to see you've learned over the years with
Yes.
these pests here. Carpenter bee goos they're not gonna drill into the home. They're just drilling into the wood and then up almost like a tunnel. The fear with them would be their predators, like woodpeckers, then pecking into
Oh,
your wood. That's the issue with carpenter bees.
and then what gets at woodpeckers? Because then we'd have that issue.
You'd have to go buy one of those peregrine falcon guys that they throw the birds. You ever see those TikTok videos?
Okay, so what
Incredible.
you're saying here is that if I do in fact have carpenter bees, I would then have a woodpecker issue,
A
and
potential
then
woodpecker issue.
I would have a peregrine falcon issue.
There's these guys on the internet who own falcons, hawks, whatever they are, and they use more for pigeon control in urban areas. But the guy will walk up with the pigeon on his arm, or I mean, with the falcon or hawk on his
Mhm.
arm, basically like point at the bird he wants to attack, and he throws it, and it's like a Pokemon attack. He fucking takes it out. It's incredible. It's great.
Now, I will bring up that a couple of years ago, I actually asked you about this. I had a bird's nest on a window on the second floor of my house, and I said, "What do I do with it?" You said, "Get rid of it as soon as possible." I clearly took your advice, and just this past couple weeks, so 2 or 3 years after having the nest, me and my cousin were outside of my house trying to get rid of the nest, and what we were doing is we were throwing balls at it. Tennis balls, soccer balls,
I feel like
frisbees.
a garden hose is your best bet.
Well, we eventually got it because we got all of our balls stuck on the roof, and I had to get those back, and then I'm like, "Oh, I can just reach this with a broom," and I
Yeah,
got it, and I
yeah.
flung it off.
I mean, birds' nests are that's a pretty common thing. That's not like you really have to worry too much about that. You just don't want them getting into your attic,
Oh my god. I
into
don't
the
even wanna check
eaves.
my attic now. What's in my attic now?
Everything.
Everything. I found a bat in there once, and I'm like,
Well,
"I'm
that's
not
common.
coming back in here anymore." My house is fucking filled with animals.
Well, you got an old house.
I got an old house.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
I don't know. Wait it out.
Alright, news dump. Mac, it is the 5-year, or it was the 5-year anniversary, and also the
And
6-year anniversary, correct.
yeah,
I'm sorry, don't step on my feet, of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. I will ask you now, a handful of years later, what do you remember?
I remember my dropping, the jaw drop moment, me being in utter silence for like 5 to 10 minutes during the end of Infinity War
Wait,
and
is this
just
spoiler free?
I just couldn't believe that we're talking 2018 now, that they actually went and did it and actually killed off some heroes, knowing full well they were all coming back. But the
Mhm.
fact that they actually did it, and it being the first time really ever a property as large as the MCU had actually done something like that, was fucking incredible. And then the next year, you and I talked about this pre, during, and after us going to the Endgame screening, which number one was unbelievable, being able to
Yep.
see it like 2 or 3 weeks early, than not being able to talk to anyone else about it. But the nerves we had going in, like it was the Patriots playing in a Super Bowl, was
Mhm.
a feeling unlike any other. And it delivering on in the best way possible on those nerves and our expectations. And how often do we talk about expectations ruining a movie? But on the flip side of it is when you have expectations that high and it delivers and then some, it's the coolest feeling in the world. As a moviegoer, as a movie viewer, there's literally nothing better than having the highest of high expectations and then something exceeding those expectations.
I mean, just think back to the moment where you saw Thor's hammer moving and it went back to Cap.
Amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. And it gets super cheesy, and upon rewatches, Endgame loses a little bit of luster, which is why I thought Infinity War was better at the time. I just think it holds up a little better too. Um, it's just that in theater experience being like a sports game is I don't think there'll ever be another experience like that. And I'm so happy that we got to see it in the capacity that we did.
News down. Also, this past weekend, we had box office not great per se, but Challengers, rated R sexy tennis movie, made
Mhm.
$15 million, leading the way, 88% on Roddy T's. That is with the critics, or is that with
Critics.
critics? Okay.
75% from the audience. Yeah.
Critics are all over this. They think it's so sexy.
Yeah, 83 on Meta is a huge score for that movie.
Mhm.
It seems like everyone I have spoke to, and now by everyone, it's just a couple of people outside of you, have really enjoyed the movie. That said, 75% is not that high, so obviously there's a little bit of a disappointment factor there. 15 million is not bad for that movie though. That movie is not
No.
expected to make a bazillion dollars. I'll probably see it this week sometime during the week, so I'm looking forward to that. But you're right. Overall, it was a pretty widespread week. Second to fifth, we had Unsung Hero. No idea what that is. Is it animated? Is it a kaiju
Mm.
film? I have no fucking clue. An actual kaiju film, Godzilla X Kong, still making movies, coming in at
Making
third.
money. We knew about the movies,
Right, right. That's the word I was looking for. Civil War dropped from first to fourth, which is
which
substantial.
I think makes sense because the people that were really interested in seeing it saw it.
Yeah. But it dropping behind Godzilla is not great.
No, it
And
isn't
then
great.
that vampire film Abigail came in fifth, which is I've seen some mixed reviews on that, but I don't know. We're Challengers isn't quite there, but we are as May comes upon us, we are getting into
Yeah.
blockbuster season here. The next 2, 3, 4 months are loaded with phenomenal movies. So I guess Challengers is a good way to kick off that season.
Also, Boy Kills World, the Billy Skarsgård movie, bombed.
Yeah,
1.5 million.
yeah, and this was its second week out. So
Oh,
it's
was it?
yeah, I don't know if the first week was a limited release,
Okay.
but it is not doing well. And oddly, they didn't kick up the marketing until like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't like what did they expect out of this?
Now, don't get me wrong, I think I'm gonna like this, and this might turn into one of those cult movies where not a lot of people saw it in the theaters, and then people eventually see it and they really like it, but not doing well.
No, not at all.
But speaking of doing well, Godzilla X Kong equals $500 million.
Yeah, and speaking of thresholds, Dune 2 crossed over 700 million, I think, last
Ooh!
week. So pretty good.
News down. Mufasa, the Lion King. We
Mufasa,
got a
Mufasa, Mufasa.
trailer for that yesterday. The movie is coming out on December 20th. We have many returning voice actors for this
I got
movie.
questions, Q. I got
We'll
questions.
answer those in 1 second. We have Donald Glover, we have Beyonce, we have Billy Eichner, we have Seth Rogen,
Beyonce.
but we also have some newcomers. One of those newcomers is Blue Ivy Carter. After years of putting in hard work, will make her film debut as the voice of Kiara, the daughter of Simba and Nala.
So the biggest point I think actually here is Lin-Manuel Miranda is writing
Yeah.
the music for this movie, so that's a huge thing. Barry Jenkins directing. Obviously, he's already been an Oscar nominated director twice, so maybe this will get kicked up a little bit. But
Also,
Q,
new voice for Mufasa as well.
okay. I didn't yet watch the trailer when I started texting you about it because I'm seeing this casting news and Glover and Beyonce returning, and I said, "How in the fuck is Blue Ivy Carter playing Simba and Nala's daughter in a Lion King prequel movie?" And
Prequel.
and you said that it's not quite a prequel.
Yes, Barry Jenkins told Empire that it is simultaneously telling the story of both the rise of Mufasa and the current day storyline of Simba and Nala raising their daughter.
So that tells you they didn't have enough on either end to make a full movie, and so they're like, we'll just throw this all together, but
Lion
call it
King one and a
Mufasa."
half all over again. Rosencrantz and Guildenstein.
There's obviously a little bit of a story there to tell between Mufasa and Scar coming up, but
Yeah.
probably right, not 90 minutes worth of. And also, do we really care about Simba and Nala's kids? So again, not 90 minutes worth of stuff there. I'm not really looking forward to this.
No, but I also can't be a hypocrite. I need to be someone who, after the last one, I said, make me a new story. Make me a pizza.
Make me a pizza.
Make me a new story with these characters. I'll come back and watch it. Stop telling me these remakes or stop doing these remakes of the animated just to get some money. Give me these to get some money, and I'll go and watch it. Also, talk about a tall task for Lin-Manuel Miranda trying to compete with the old Lion King music.
I know, that's true. I just like, yes, it's given us a new story,
Mhm.
but we already got an animated, I think, straight to video movie
Oh, we got several of those.
with post Lion King stuff. So I don't know if they're going to draw from that. I don't remember watching those
Well,
or
like I
retaining
said, Lion
anything.
King 1.5. There was Lion King 2 with the kids of Scar, or there was like a Scar bastard child or something like
Oh,
that. And then Simba's kid. There's also like an animated show about Pride Rock, I believe. So
okay, that
there's
sounds
other
familiar.
Lion King stuff. I'm hoping this is all new. And I'm hoping, and I don't think they can do this, is find a way for the lions to give off a little more feeling, because they can't do it with their eyes. They can't do it with their faces because they don't have cartoon faces anymore.
Right,
They have
right.
real lion faces, and
Yeah.
lions can't do that.
Well, you've already established the universe with the other way they did it, though. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you can really change it. I don't know if you can go full Sonic and really retcon stuff here.
Just change them all, make them all ugly Sonic. Got the little beady teeth.
Um, the bigger discussion we had after discussing this stupid trailer was, what are we calling these movies now? So we have in the horror movie world,
Requels.
we've had these movies called dubbed requels,
Yeah.
where they're retconning, but they're also sequels.
Mhm.
This does not fall into that realm. This as being a prequel, but also some sequel stuff. So I said prequel sounds pretty good, but
Yeah.
it's a lot. You offered pre-C, I think, or C-pre.
I think I like Cypri better. Cypri!
Cypre!
Cypri!
That'll work. I don't know if we want these movies though. I don't want
No,
another
but
movie in this category.
if you look up prequel, sequel movies on Google, like I did,
Ooh,
it says there that there are many, many movies like this. You Godfather 2, Days of Future Past. So we
that's
have
true.
had these in the past.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Two pretty good movies in and of themselves. So
Not to get
fair enough.
sidetracked, but also when I was looking up my whole bee situation,
Mm-hmm.
I looked up that if a bee goes into your house, that's
Sure.
good luck.
Yeah, I don't know where that would have come from. That's just
But
someone
also,
trying to quell people's fears.
if a bee dies in your house,
Uh-huh.
bad luck. And if you kill the bee yourself, worse luck.
Hold on. So this adage says that if a bee comes into your house, it's good luck. But then that also takes into account you're chasing the bee around the whole time because you're trying to get it out of the house before it dies.
You need to let it out. You got to open a window for it to get out, or get a cardboard box and try and get it in there and then throw it out the window.
Those are your top two most researched
Right.
methods
Yeah, I
there.
found this. It's a website that starts with a Q.
Okay.
Quora, I believe.
Anon.
Yeah, I was all on QAnon being like, what is the deal with this bee? And they
I
had
think
a lot of answers.
Quora is just like an amalgamation of like Ask Jeeves and all those Yahoo questions that people used
Reddit.
to ask back in the day.
Actually,
Yeah.
Reddit had a lot of answers.
Reddit's got answers for everything. They may not be the best answers, but they have answers.
I've never been steered wrong on Reddit.
Oh, you're gonna be in the house.
News dump. X-Men 97, the 3-part finale starts this week. We got a little vignettes from
Is your
X-Men or
vignette?
Marvel in general yesterday, where they had a couple new clips in there, but it's more just a breakdown of what's happened this past season. I am so excited about this. And
And I
something that I haven't thought about with this show, because I keep comparing it to the first version of the show, the one that ran from 92 to 97. I keep comparing it to recent MCU Marvel properties that we've gotten since Endgame, we need to start thinking about this compared to everything Marvel gave us.
I'm not gonna do that because you know my age-old stance. I just can't take most animated stuff uh, in the same. I can't give it the same legitimacy as I do live action. That said, Spider Verse has changed my opinion on that some. This is doing a good job of poking into into those territories. This has become more emotional, and it's gotten me more emotionally invested than most
Yes.
animated stuff ever has. But as we just talked about at the beginning of this news dump, this is not gonna get anywhere close to Infinity War or Endgame.
I don't think about that, but I think it might be their best show. It might
So
crack
what's their best show
ten.
right now? Is it the X-Men series
I would say
originally?
first season of Loki.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah. So this
And it
might
has
be
this
in that
similar
realm.
it also has this similar, week to week intrigue that WandaVision had. Now, I'm hoping that this has a better finale than WandaVision, but it has the same, like, at the end of every episode, you had a cliffhanger, you're like, "What's gonna happen next week? Let's speculate a little bit."
Right, right. No, you're not wrong about that. If you frame it that way, the intrigue is definitely there. And what would you say is the golden goose right now for animated Marvel shows? What would be number 1?
Oh, I can't even think of that because I don't care for What If.
It's
Um,
probably the original X-Men series.
yeah, if you wanna look at that, the original X-Men series, the Spider-Man series was pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't love their Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, so
I think if you bring in all of Disney stuff though,
mhm.
the best Star Wars stuff is still better than
Okay.
this.
Okay, so you're gonna,
But the I
take your
would say
on that side of the fence?
yeah, I would say that the best stuff from Rebels and Clone Wars is still a tier above this, but this
Okay.
is right below it. This is now it's also just 1 season. So if we get
Yeah.
4 seasons of this stuff and it ramps up the way Clone Wars did, because the first like 2, 3 seasons of Clone Wars, I don't even really like.
Okay.
So if we get what if this gets as focused and serious as the end of Clone Wars does, this very well might overtake that. I don't know. I don't know. Again, we're 7 episodes into 1 season when it might end up being 4 seasons. We hope it's gonna be 4 or 5 seasons, but it has been really good, no doubt.
Oh, I also like how, someone asked on, I believe, Threads, because that's James Gunn's official social media platform or
Gross.
something like that. I know, I don't like it
That's
either,
such a
but
DC move
people
too.
take, frame shots of it or take,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they post it everywhere. And someone said, "Hey, with the success of X-Men 97, could you bring back whatever the Justice League show was from like the 2000s?" And he's like, "We're not going to follow trends. X-Men 97 is a great show. It is unique and it's doing a great job telling stories, but just because that's what a trend is now, we're not just going to start doing that."
Yeah, and there's also something to be said about the more narrow scope of just X-Men stories as opposed to
Yeah.
full out Marvel. Whereas if you do a Justice League thing, it's all of DC
Mhm.
and it's a little much, and there's less of a demand for that. The X-Men just hold a special place in someone's heart. It would be more akin to them doing a
Batman the
revamp.
animated series.
Yes, exactly. A revamp of the Batman series, which I'm not even sure you can do because that ran the gauntlet of everything. It would be nice for them to bring it back on a more serious tone, but I don't know if there's much more to tell there.
News time. Kraven the Hunter has been delayed to December 13th. Mac, will it come out this year?
I think they want to be done with it at this alternate universe they're building, so I think they're gonna force it to come out this
When
year.
does Venom come out? Do you have that on the top of your head?
I
Is it
think it's
November?
November,
So they want this after Venom because Venom's going to lead into
but
this.
it wasn't supposed to be
No.
after Venom, so this is gonna be very interesting. Not that it really matters because I feel like that there's this side Sony universe is dead anyways, but boy, this is ending the way that the DC universe did, just like
What
with a
if
whimper.
they change the subtitle on this movie to Kraven the Hunter: The New Dance? Because Venom
Uh,
is the last dance.
I would be more intrigued by Kraven the MILF Hunter. That would really get me going.
That was Mac's nickname in high school. Mac had all these FBI shirts. You know what they said.
No, I did have one that said "I love hot moms" that I got
Yeah.
at Target. I'm pretty sure, which is pretty
You sure you
racy
didn't buy that at
considering
Spencer
Target.
Gifts?
Oh, maybe I got it there. I don't
Well, you
remember.
bought it at Spencer Gifts with your federal body
Fe-
inspector shirt or your female body inspector shirt. Sorry, that's what it
There
was.
you go. Well, there's levels of body inspectors.
I'm working my way up. News dump. What do you
Goo,
think of this? Yeah,
what do you think about this? Let me
yeah,
read this one
what
for you.
is this headline that you gave me? Find the
How
fucking headline.
I am so intrigued by this. I need this for every movie going forward now.
I don't. I hate
I
this, but go ahead.
I am so entertained by the idea of this. Now, maybe 5 minutes in, I'll be over it. So obviously, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
To hopefully big fanfare. Hopefully, it does well. They've already announced that the home media releases of this movie are going to include a version of the entire movie with the original footage of the actors in the mocap suits. I am so intrigued by this.
Okay, so I love seeing, quick snippets of this type of stuff,
Mhm.
get a little behind the scenes. But when I'm watching a movie, I want to be taken to a dream world of magic. I don't want to watch 2.5 hours of
I
this.
don't know if that's true though, because you're the one that likes all these shitty movies and these B movies. So this might be right up your alley.
I do like Jerry Seinfeld stuff.
Now, what I would love I would love if someone came to script, came with the actual idea of shooting a movie like this because they lack the budget. So you just would have to paint it in with your head and just
I
have the
honestly
mocap.
thought that the Snyder cut was going to be half this.
This has me really intrigued. If this is like somewhat entertaining, every movie needs to do this.
News dump. Mac, they are creating a television show, correct? It is Steve Carell and Tina Fey.
Oh no,
New comedy.
I think it's a movie.
Is it a movie?
Pretty sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I read the thing 4 seasons. I'm like, oh, they're committing to 4 seasons of a TV show. What
Yeah,
is
they're teaming up the massively successful Steve Carell and Tina Fey pairing that crushed it in that 2010 movie Date Night.
Mhm.
And I'm very confused as to why these two are coming together now and again for a movie. The
Well,
premise here,
it
Gil.
makes sense. They're 2 of the biggest television stars from the '00 to 10, that decade.
Yeah, but Tina Fey's TV success never translated to movies. Carell's
Uh,
has.
Baby, baby,
Baby
baby,
Mama
baby mama.
with Amy Poehler and Dax
Yeah.
Shepard.
Did okay. I'm a big Dak Shepherds. I'm in Shepherd's flock.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Good. The premise of this movie is that
Without a paddle.
the film will follow a group of vacation friends
Mhm.
and what happens when one of the couples splits up and the man brings a much younger woman on subsequent trips. So that's like that what's that movie with Vince Vaughn and
Couples retreat.
Couples Retreat. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that, except now one of the couples is split, so they're piggybacking off that. But Goo, I'm more interested here to discuss in the next couple of minutes Steve Carell's filmography. I find it
Mhm.
absolutely fascinating what he's done since basically showing up in The Office and then popping off with 40-Year-Old Virgin in 2005.
Mhm.
Since 40-Year-Old Virgin, obviously he did Little Miss Sunshine, but he was a side character in that '06. He does Evan Almighty, which was a total flop. That was '07. Dan in Real Life, which is actually one of my favorite movies of his. Have you seen that movie?
The movie poster turned me off so much.
Dane Cook plays his brother in it. They're actually both very good in the movie.
Oh, by the way, everyone on TikTok, stop comparing me to Dane Cook. It's not nice.
He does Get Smart in 2008. That completely flops. Date Night in 2010. Total flop. But in 2010, he does get his hands on Gru and Despicable Me, which is why I think he lightened his load a little bit as the 2010s went on. You saw him in Dinner for Schmucks, which some people sneaky love that movie.
I hate that movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of hate that
hate it.
movie too.
It's
I
also
don't
just a
care for
huge
that at all.
disappointment when you have all those comedic talents and this is
Yeah.
what you get.
Right, right. Crazy Stupid Love, I think the greatest rom-com of all time, 2011. But then Goo, one of the movies I was really anticipating, like in my whole life, I don't know why. Ask 2012 me.
Ask Jeeves.
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World with him and Keira Knightley. I
Mhm.
thought was going to be amazing. It wasn't. Then he does what I think is the most underrated film in his filmography here, The Way Back. Have you seen this movie? Tony
No.
Collette, Sam Rockwell. Oh, it's fucking great. If you don't if you come away with nothing else from today, both you and the listener, go watch The Way Back. It's set in Cape Cod. They feature Water Whiz. It's a great movie. Sam Rockwell obviously crushes it. Tony Collette's great. But in that movie, Carell plays like kind of a shithead, which you don't see too often, so it's good. Who also in 2013, he does the incredible Burt Wonderstone. And then we come to a screeching halt for the most part in like comedic roles. and he starts doing these Oscar bait roles, which I didn't think he had it in him, but the first one up, Foxcatcher,
Mhm.
2014. He's fucking incredible in Foxcatcher. He does The Big Short in 15, Battle of the Sexes 17, Last Flag Flying 17, Vice 18, and then unfortunately stumbled into Welcome to Marwen in 2018. We haven't seen much of him since, so I guess he's just been living off that Despicable Me money.
Oh, he did that
Um,
television show, the, space show.
yeah, that god awful Space Force show, which somehow got 2 seasons, which I
Oh,
don't
yeah, you forgot
understand.
all of his Despicable Me's. He's done
Yeah,
4
yeah.
of those so
I
far, he's
just
doing another one.
It's funny. It was a high volume there in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Didn't stick the landing on a ton of them, but when he did stick the landing, they were fantastic. But now he's kind of turned into this Oscar bait actor, which I never saw coming. I don't know. I hope that we can get back to his comedic routes, but eh,
Oh,
some
he's
of it
also doing If as well.
some of it is like you can never recreate Michael Scott, and I feel like a lot of them are trying to recreate Michael Scott type characters.
Mhm. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
News dump. Mac Knuckles is now available on Paramount Plus. It has a 67.76 on Roddy T's and a 61 Metacritic.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not
Yeah.
bad at all. I'll probably watch it in the next couple of weeks. It's only 6 episodes, I think. I don't think it has like I don't think it tells a big story, but it's a nice little aside for the Sonic universe. And I believe Sonic 3 comes out in December, so that's a nice little holdover for you.
News dump. I'm not watching until they add Ugly Sonic back in. When they do their giant Sonic multiverse movie, they have to do it. The Fall Guy opens this weekend. This might be the most excited I've been for a movie in a while.
Yeah, this might be your most anticipated non-Deadpool movie of the year.
God
Uh,
damn you, Mickey 17.
Currently 89%
Ooh.
from critics, 78 on Metacritic, so a strong start. We're seeing it in like 7 hours, so hopefully we are
And Steven
gifted
Spielberg
with a
pulled
nice
Ryan Gosling to
experience.
the side and said, "You saved cinema."
I am looking forward to this. I am not nearly as excited as you are, but I'm looking forward to it.
News down. And finally, a quick reminder that we'll be at Idle Hands Craft Ales, 89 Commercial Street, Malden, Massachusetts on May 9th. That is a Thursday. Keep that in mind. Thirsty Thursday with the trivia of Saturday morning cartoons. Goo, what the H is a Saturday morning cartoon? Well, our scope, we're looking at like 86, 87 through like the mid aughts. If it played on Saturday morning, if it's an animated show, if you ate cereal while watching it, we're going to ask you questions about it.
Do you have any cereal questions in there?
Well, I've already said this is that if you bring cereal, if you eat cereal while there, points.
Okay. All right.
If you
Fair
bring
enough.
Mac cereal, the cereal has to be unopened. Mac will not eat any cereal if the bag is opened.
I'm not going to eat cereal in general. I don't eat cereal like ever in my life. I
You
used
already
to.
owe us 2 hats that you've said, "I will eat my hat if
Sure about
something
that?
happens."
Sure about that?
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill those hats with tricks and milk.
If any, I think I owe one hat for Tony Stark's father. I don't know what the second one you'd be talking about is.
It was something that had to do with one of the trivias. But let me ask you this, if you had to, gun to your head right now, if I held out 2 hats filled with cereal and milk, one is a fruity cereal, one is a chocolatey cereal, which one are you taking?
Well, I'd have to know the exact cereals. If it's Reese's Puffs in the chocolatey one, I'm taking that.
Right, but let's just say, like, just a chocolate, so no peanut butter
So
involved.
just like
So,
Cocoa Puffs.
Pebbles, Puffs, Krispies, or Pebbles, Tricks,
Give me
Loops.
Tricks. Give me Fruity Pebbles over the standard chocolate cereal.
I've always thought of you as being a fruity boy.
Yeah, I'm a Skittles guy over
Oh,
chocolate
you
too.
love
It
Skittles.
tracks. Yeah.
I do wanna
Oh,
give
you
you
know what?
credit, actually.
You know what?
Let me give you credit first.
Okay. All right.
I agree with you now at my age of 35. Cough drops are a great candy.
Because it's like fake candy and you fake like you're doing something healthy, kind of.
Yeah,
It's a good medium.
yeah. Between that and drinking, like, Airborne or, like, Vita-C, I'm like, I'm treating my body, but I'm also getting this
Yeah.
delicious drink.
Pedialyte.
Yeah,
It's so many good options.
yeah,
Goo.
yeah.
Speaking of Skittles, a couple weeks ago, I tried freeze dried Skittles. Have you tried these freeze dried candies?
Is it just kinda like freezing candy?
The texture is hard to describe, but it's delicious.
Okay.
If you see a pack in Walgreens or CVS, wherever, pick up some freeze dried candy. They have it all over TikTok. I'm surprised at how much I liked it.
Will it hurt my hand?
No, very fluffy.
No, I'm thinking like you pick up the bag and it's yeah, it's cold to the touch.
No, no, they were freeze dried to get to a certain state. They're no longer frozen.
Oh, I thought that might still be frozen.
It's not
It
like a
might be one of
frozen pack
those
of peas.
like, you know when you touch something that's so cold, you actually burn your hand?
Sure. Never happened to me, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen to me, that's all I'm saying.
No, no, you wanna keep your skin.
I almost burnt my hand last night, I was barbecuing, and the grill got way too hot, but I wasn't
Mm.
gonna turn it down, I'm making steak tips.
Ugh, I had a terrible experience with steak tips at a restaurant a couple months ago that I was like I haven't had steak tips since, and it's really turned me off to them. I don't know if I had ever had steak tips, especially in the Northeast region, is one of, like, the go-tos at a restaurant. It's, like, really hard to fuck them up,
Yeah, you
and
can't fuck those
boy,
up.
I'm not gonna name the restaurant here, but it's a restaurant I've been going to for years. It's, like, my mom's go-to for her birthdays or whatever things we celebrate,
Mhm.
and it was terrible.
Yeah, I ripped some, Dom's steak tips last night,
Mm.
and they were phenomenal.
Teriyaki?
No,
Teriyaks?
I don't no, you just do the house sauce, although I do like the pineapple teriyaki there, don't sleep on it. If I'm there, I have to go with the house sauce.
That's fair. That's
Mhm.
fair enough.
Alright, so that'll do it for this news dump. Check us out at the end of the week. Mac will be back. Or will he? We'll see.
Are we doing Fall Guy?
Fall Guy.
All right,
And
cool.
if you see another movie during the week, maybe we'll slap that on the end too.
Hey, listen, you gotta finish a TV show at some point. I got like 3 on the docket.
Oh my god. Oh, I just finished, Conan Must Go.
It's not
You
worth
finished?
you can't do an
No,
episode on
I'm
that.
asking you, have you finished the series yet?
Yeah, I watched it all in one night.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes were great.
Yeah,
Him in Ireland, also great.
whole series was very good. I
I
still
also recommend I don't know if I said this last time, but all of his TBS stuff, all of his, Conan the Broad stuff from TBS, like 13 episodes,
Mhm.
also on Max. Check those out.
All right, finish Fallout, finish fucking Invincible.
You mean
There's
start Fallout, start Invincible. Go ahead.
2 shows worth talking about.
Okay. News dump.